in a world where we're budgeting, it's the forefront of so many people's minds. It's more important than ever to make sure the younger generation is money savvy. So today, we're joined by finance expert Dave Fishwick with his top tips. Morning, Dave.
Very good morning.
Dave. Well, first of all, I can't believe they're making a Hollywood movie about your life. Well, tell us about that.
Well, they've actually filmed it. It's going into...
Who played you?
A guy called Rory Kinnear.
Oh, he's so
amazing.
good.
Out of Bond. From Bond to Burnley.
Yeah. And did he speak like you? Was he good?
He's actually more like me than me, which is worrying. We stood together, but I said, that works both ways. So, you know, when the new Bond, and he plays in... You know, in with Q's office, it's Dave now.
It must be amazing. It must be surreal getting a film made about you. It must be so weird.
Well, I got a phone call about 18 months ago, and they rung up and said, look, Dave, we've just made this big film in Britain called Fisherman's Friends, and it's a lovely, lovely film, and MGM loved it, and they just said, we want another feel-good movie. So they come to me and said, we want to make a movie about your life.
That's a lovely film as well, about the fisherman's choir down in Cornwall.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful...
So, obviously, never been a more important time to teach our children to be savvy with money. And this is something that's very close to your heart, isn't it?
It is. I mean, kids, as soon as they get past the time where they can't swallow a pound coin, you need to start teaching about it. You know, when I was a kid, I had 3 jobs, I had 3 paper rounds, but I also worked at weekends in a joiner's factory. And then when I left school at 17, I went on, lived by myself, needed to pay the rent, so I had 3 jobs. I was car selling through the day, and then I'd race down the motorway, up the steps into this big building, and I was a DJ for the night. Just join us, get in and welcome along. Where else could you be? It's Friday through Saturday morning. Get ready for the big one.
But the thing is, the children are very different nowadays. They really are, Dave. And, you know, they like to stay at home. They like to do a bit of gaming. They like to play out with their friends. Do you think we should be encouraging them to go and get a job?
I think it's really important. As soon as you get to the age where you're safe, 12, 13, get a job. You know, encourage your children to work. It's like practice what you preach.
I guess that can even work at home, right? They don't have to go out and get a job. They could even be doing chores around the house.
Yes.
Just so that sort of understanding and learning the value of money and work.
And pay them, you know, show them what life's all about. The things we learnt at school, we've forgotten about. But things we learn now, we could have done with knowing with at school. And I think we could teach some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like APR. You think, APR, annual percentage rate. You know, if you teach kids what that means when they're taking a loan. So they try and baffle us with all sorts of numbers to these big financial agencies and banks and things. One recently, I've just dug somebody out of real trouble called Joey in Padiham.
Yeah.
He took a £500 overdraft loan and he was being charged £250 a month.
No.
How is he ever going to dig himself out of that? So we told him we'd dig him out, pay it, clear it, and he's back on the straight and narrow.
I just don't know. So do you think if we borrow our kids' money, we should maybe charge them a little bit interest?
Yeah.
When they give it back?
The Bank of Allison. Or Dermot.
There is a Bank of Allison, I'm not going to lie.
Is there?
There is a Bank of Allison. And Aidan Hammond absolutely loves it.
My word.
He absolutely loves that bank.
This is your sole
I'm going to have to
client.
shut that bank down. I am. I'm going to have to shut it down.
It's bank and mum and dad, innit? But instead of just giving them money, charge a bit of interest.
You know what?
It's the real world.
Okay, so let's talk about this practically. How can you sit down at the dinner table and go, all right, I will lend you 50 quid, Aidan.
But you've got to give me back
But
55.
Right. How does that work?
Well,
without him going,
well, to be honest...
Mum, I'm going out, you're not going to see me for 2
We're having
days.
debates about rent at the moment. I says, listen, you're going to have to start paying a little bit of rent now. I'm really upset.
Who wrote this?
Well, just say it. Because if kids want to buy a video game or they want to buy an Xbox or whatever, and it's going to be a few £100, you can't keep giving them. That is not how the world works.
Exactly.
If you want something, so set them an achievable goal. Say, right, OK, you want that video game, it's 40 quid. Save over the next few months and I'll price match it. So if you save 20 quid, I'll put 20 quid in.
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
Or go a little bit of interest. If you've got a little bit of spare money, you'll give them a little bit of interest. If they want to borrow some money, you charge them a bit of interest. So say they want to borrow 100 quid, charge them 5%. It's a £5 a year. So it works and it starts to teach them. And another brilliant one is the credit card Henry. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yeah, go Henry.
Hey!
Yeah, I know.
Cooking with gas now.
Yes.
From 6 to 18, you can have a credit card. You can put your name on it. You can put a design on it.
Yes.
It costs 3 quid a month to have and 50 pence to load it up with money. When they run out of money, it don't work anymore. So it's a bit like money, you know, and I think that's a brilliant way. And it's no good telling your kids, be careful, if you're going out splashing it all over. Teach them exactly how they should use it. They can see, use a credit card, show them how to do it. Start early.
And David, is this sort of stuff taught at school? I mean, I've got a 2-year-old, so I don't know.
It's not.
And should it be? Should there be kind of some kind of basic, like, I guess what you call home
Life
economics?
skills,
Or
yeah.
That's a brilliant
life
idea,
skills
Dom. I think
within
what we should do,
curriculum.
we should film a little video and we should send it to schools. This is real life skills. If a lad from Burnley started with nothing, left school with no qualifications whatsoever and just sells a few buses, if I can do it, anybody can. I'm building the first no high street bank for 120 years, you know. And it's that sort of self-belief, that drive, that passion.
You know what I love about you? You like a good haggle. Now, I don't take anything for, you know, on surface value. You like haggling, don't you?
I love it. Never ever give full price for anything. Bid them off if you can. You can always come up, but you can never come down.
Wow.
Do you just like pay what they say?
Cannot be bothered, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I always look for the scratch and go, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
Another really important thing is stay away from payday loans, especially young people. Stay away from
And
payday
credit
loans.
cards, maybe.
Credit cards, if the interest rates are bonkers, right? But payday loans, they are terrible. 5,000% APR. You pay £1, it can cost you thousands in the end.
Yeah.
So I just tell kids stay away. I did a series with my right-hand man, David H. It was called The Lone Ranger. And we took on Wonga and we helped close them down. It's really important. No payday loans, no illegal lenders. Really important.
Yeah.
Dad.
And always speak to your mum and dad, right?
Bank of Mum and Dad.
Bank
Bag
of Mum.
of Dermot and Alison.
Yes.
It's happening.
It's over.
And then there's a movie. That's the sequel to the movie.
Hammond's Bank is closed. Thank you so much.
And the
Dave.
bank is officially shut. Not just for the weekend. Done. Right, just a moment.